Do not be overawed when a man grows rich, when the splendor of his house increases, for he will take nothing with him when he dies. His splendor will not descend with him. Psalm 49:16 and 17. Nothing we do is truly original, Ecclesiastes 1:10. Nothing we do will ultimately be remembered, Ecclesiastes 1:11. Despite all our efforts, death will snatch away from us all we have gained in this life, though we had named lands after ourselves, Psalm 49:11, and we will be oblivious to the fate of our prized possessions after our departure, Ecclesiastes 2:17 through 21. Nothing is secure. Nothing is forever. It is in this context that our Lord commanded us to look beyond the hollow rewards of this life to the true rewards, eternal in the heavens, which come from God. Don't stock up treasures for yourselves on the earth, where moth and corrosion eat them away, and where thieves dig through and steal them. But stock up treasures for yourselves in heaven, where neither moth nor corrosion eat them away, and where thieves neither dig through nor steal them. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Matthew 6:19 through 21. Even apart from this divine perspective, moreover, the essential vanity of human effort and the ephemeral nature of life is difficult to ignore or deny for anyone conducting an honest appraisal. Man is a mere phantom as he goes to and fro. He bustles about, but only in vain. He heaps up wealth, not knowing who will get it. Psalm 39:6. At no time in history has this truth been more clearly perspicuous than in our modern world of technology, affluence, and leisure time, where the phenomena of apathy, depression, and suicide are all in the process of increasing exponentially. That modern advances, which are supposed to be a blessing to human life, are found to be correlated instead with reactions of hopelessness may seem contradictory from the secular viewpoint. From the biblical viewpoint, however, the correlation seems perfectly reasonable. Apart from God, life is hopeless. Therefore, to the degree that mankind is relieved of the daily necessities which for most of history have occupied human existence, one should expect this hopelessness to shine through with ever greater clarity. What is surprising from the biblical point of view is that this pall of futility does not hang even heavier over the unbelieving world, a phenomenon to be attributed to the spiritual blindness which sets in once God is rejected. While Satan uses a variety of techniques to control the human race, it is fair to say that to the extent life's futility motivates mankind to seek eternal solutions to the hopelessness of temporal life, to that extent it is clearly in the devil's interest to direct humanity's activities into other channels, as best he can. And indeed, much human effort over the millennia has been directed towards solving, mitigating, or flat-out denying the essential truth of the meaninglessness of life apart from God. Indeed, mankind has made a science of discovering interesting amusements and diversions to try and take the sting out of life, in vain. For the sin we have inherited from Adam guarantees that the sting of death will continue to loom large for all who ever choose to take a sober, realistic look at the true dynamics of life. 1 Corinthians 15:54 through 57. Oh, the ineffable wisdom of God's judgment upon Adam and Eve! Giving them pain and toil in addition to an ultimate physical death was the best possible encouragement to look beyond this life for solutions. The promise of the woman's seed, Christ, and the sacrifice for sin he would provide, foreshadowed in the coats of skin, were eagerly received and believed, at least in part because the contrast of the good life in Eden with the complete futility and hardship of life outside was so stark. God has not left us as orphans in this cruel world. Quite the contrary. He has made provision for our complete restoration to himself through faith in the one who died for us, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. The hardships of this life and the essential pointlessness of it apart from God are, in truth, a part of his grace, for they lovingly and effectively divert our gaze from the bitter life around us, if only for a brief, necessary moment that we might seek something better. Examined from the point of view of mortality, life, apart from God, is futile, pointless, and vain. Death destroys all progress, all accomplishment, all wealth. And no amount of progress, accomplishment, or wealth can ward off death. Furthermore, as the days lengthen, all remembrance of the dead is eventually extinguished, so that the myth of living on in the memories of men or in the collective consciousness of the human experience is pure gossamer, a fantasy that dissolves with the slightest touch. Not that it would or could provide any comfort for the dead if they were to be remembered for generations to come, for all the world to see, by the world's own empirical standard. Their lamp has gone out, and they are no more. Anyone who is among the living has hope. Even a live dog is better off than a dead lion. For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing. They have no further reward, and even the memory of them is forgotten. Their love, their hate, and their jealousy have long since vanished. Never again will they have a part in anything that happens under the sun. Ecclesiastes 9, 4-6. Whatever shred of remembrance there is for the dead, it benefits them not a whit. Funerals and memorials are for the living. Life for the living, moreover, when examined from this same point of view, that is, mortality, and contrasted with the perfect environment of Eden, is a terribly frustrating experience. For there is no truly compelling purpose for all the effort that goes on under the sun. All man's labors are ultimately to put food in his mouth, but that mouth can never be filled, nor its appetite satisfied. Ecclesiastes 6, 7. Whatever men strive for, enduring toil and pain, will not satisfy. Only the unattained and the unattainable are truly attractive. And even they turn to dust before the eyes if the gaze is prolonged but a moment. If money is the object of desire, there will never be enough of it. If wealth is the objective, there is never enough to satisfy. Ecclesiastes 5:10. If you hoard wealth, it is useless to you. If you spend it for your enjoyment, you no longer possess it. Ecclesiastes 5:11. And if through toil and pain and effort wealth is achieved, it vexes the sleep of the rich, while the laborer sleeps sweetly after a simple meal. Ecclesiastes 5:12. Toil and pain and effort, the new calculus of life after Eden demands it. Without such sweat and labor we would not eat. But no matter how long and hard and successful the work, it cannot ward off death forever, nor can it even provide lasting satisfaction. In light of the ultimate futility of life, both taken as a whole and viewed in terms of the pointlessness of effort beyond the bare necessity of survival, it is understandable that mankind has historically devoted itself to the principle of diversion, a principle that explains almost all human behavior of a non-spiritual nature. Let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we shall die. 1 Corinthians 15:32. The secular conclusion, presented by Paul as a perfectly logical modus operandi in the absence of any hope of eternal life, is a succinct way of stating the principle. If death be inevitable, and if life be an essentially dull and pointless continuum of toil and pain, what better way to get through than to devote oneself to diversions of one sort or another? Work and accomplishment can serve effectively in this capacity as well. Anything that distracts from the overall vanity of life fulfills the diversion principle. Between birth and death, we human beings have nothing but time, time which must be served on this earth under the Genesis curse. We fill the time with work, with relationships, and with various pleasures and pursuits. We fill the time, we waste the time, we strive desperately not to be at loose ends with our time, lest the realization of life's vanity dawn and bear heavily down upon us. To the extent that the effort produced by our time-filling, time-wasting activities is directed at all, it is inevitably directed toward the impossible goal of making ourselves happy, whether directly or indirectly. Whether a man toils a lifetime in the depths of the earth searching for treasure or spends his days at the corner pub, happiness is the ultimate objective, and who can say which man is the greater fool? In the latter case, happiness stops almost instantaneously with last call. In the former, great success will only bring an end to the diversion of toil and bring on the realization that riches do not produce happiness, dispelling the illusion that motivated the distracting toil in the first place.